Broadcasting live from the command center located in Jacksonville, Florida, this is Military Witnesses to UAP. I am your host, Shannon Scott. And backed by popular demand, located deep in the Missouri woods, my right-hand man, Rob Heatherly. We both have assumed the duties and responsibilities of continuing the conversation. So, buckle up, hold my beer, hang on, and let's get started with today's briefings. I'm having some technical difficulties. Stand by.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see if I can get ourselves up there and tear that thing down for a second. Stand by, please. I'm having difficulties.
No! There's no place to go.
Hold on, I think I got it figured out. Man. Here we go. There we go.
Something's funky with the beat, man.
I'll tell everybody this evening you're special, but you are.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up. I can't understand you, man.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Garbled. It's garbled. Nada.
Okay. How about now?
Yes, sir.
I should have just stayed with the Apple AirPod Max. It don't matter. So, wow, a lot's been going on today, Rob. I thought it was going to be a non-show today. I wasn't feeling great this morning because some clouds and some weather came through, but I'm feeling a lot better now. The title of today's show is something about, hey, you got to check out this UAP. Just let y'all know, Rob sent me a tweet, and we'll go over that momentarily. But first of all, Rob, how are you doing?
Doing all right.
Doing all right? You working hard on special assignment stuff today?
Yes, I am. And also have to do some, I got to take care of a stalker tomorrow morning.
You want to tell the audience what's going on with that, or you want to skip it? That's a good story.
Better skip it for now, because if I say anything and then something goes down tomorrow morning, I don't want anything saying, well, it's premeditated.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we'll hope. Hopefully, none of this will happen.
Yeah.
Rob goes crazy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never underestimate old age and treachery, man. It always beats youth and inexperience.
So I just listened to a show. I'm a new subscriber to his. Let's see if I can bring it up. Give me one moment, folks. I got to swap my account.
I tried to engage him in his chat, but he wasn't biting. I guess he might have thought
I don't think he was live. I don't think he's live, was he?
No, he was premiering, but he wasn't. I think he was in the chat, but he didn't respond to any of the message or the chat comments I left, and then it went off from live, and I couldn't comment any longer, so I left a comment in the comment section afterwards. So, and then I came here because it started. So here I am.
Right. I believe the channel is called Quirk Zone. and he just had a release of a video called "Twitter Dispute Between Elizondo and the Black Vault Founder Totally Unnecessary." I think it's just
he doesn't know the whole story. It's been an ongoing source of contention for a long time now, and it's been building. It's no secret, what's been played out all over Twitter. Basically, Green Street got hold of the IG complaint last year and was trickling it out a little bit at a time, and improperly portraying Lou with it. And I think he influenced Greenwald that he was being lied to by Lou because of the piecemeal portions that he was putting out there. Lou also made a promise to Lukatsky. The New York Times broke the article in 2017, and they found out about ATIP and OSAP and the 22 million, and they asked Lou if he wanted to comment before they went to press. They didn't get the information from Lou. They just gave him a chance to comment before they ran the article with or without his input. But he made a promise to Lukatsky that he would not out him, which he could have, because it would have been illegal, except that, he's a man of his word. So he didn't do that. Lukatsky didn't want to be outed until his book came out, and then, face whatever it was that, that he needed to fess up for on when confessing, just to share what his part was in it, and answer questions after the book came out, because you don't want to give the full Monty and then nobody wants to read the book after they know the story already. So Lou kept his promise, and when they asked him about that with Leslie Keane and them, he didn't, throw Lukatsky under the bus with it. So yeah, he took responsibility for the 22 million and let him go ahead and say it was ATIP, because, initially, when that was the name of the project, technically, when Harry Reid needed to request, it became a SAP, Special Access Program, on an unofficial request. So he couldn't put the top secret name of the project in an unclassified request. So they had to put something. Right. Nomenclature of OSAP was ATIP. So technically, it's not a lie that ATIP had the 22 million in funding. And when Lou inherited the program in 2010, he had it for a day and shut it down, which is what he left in a comment on Twitter stating that fact, that he had it for a day, shut it down, and then ran the stripped down version that he was working on, from 2008 to 10. He was brought in to run security, set up for security for the program. But then I guess he was tasked with following up on the military witnesses and accounts, the ATIP version of what is it, how do they work, and the military reports. So that's what he did from 08 to 10. Then he took the project over, and he had it operationally for 24 hours, shut it down, and they had some trickles of funds. I think, if I can have this remembered correctly, it was a DIA program at that time. And when funding dried up in 2012, it was moved over to the DOD, which, they didn't need a parsed out budget for. They requested some funds to go specifically so they could do more field research, but they inadvertently didn't get the proper people alerted to the funds, and it was appropriated by another group in the DOD, so then they were running it on a shoestring budget. But it was a legitimate program, and Harry Reid put out statements to that fact, and Jim Simban even stated that he was briefed by Lou as the head of ATIP while he was in the CIA in the upper echelons of that. So there are many people who've come out and stated that Lou was running ATIP and they didn't know. It wasn't just a rogue program, and Congress wouldn't just take somebody's word for it, like Mick West said, of just staffers believing in ghosts and goblins and UFOs. So they put together these bills. No, they actually do their homework and make sure that people aren't lying to them. That's kind of a big deal when you put that kind of money and language and all that effort into it. You might want to verify your facts before you do that, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
So if Lou wasn't who he said he was, Congress wouldn't be working with him. They wouldn't have advance the initiatives that they have and called for the hearings and established the permanent offices and everything else that has transpired. And Greenwald and Greenstreet, especially Greenwald, is upset that he didn't get all of it through his official FOIA channel. So, it legitimizes his existence. If it doesn't come out on FOIA, he doesn't recognize it as fact. And they say that, well, he went through the IG report the other day, and he was saying that, well, Gary Reed was still at the Pentagon, and just because he's moved to the DIA. I got a statement in May from the DIA Public Affairs Office stating that Gary Reed was working special projects for the DIA, Greenwald stated that he was still at the Pentagon. No, he's not, because the DIA offices are not on site with the Pentagon. They're someplace else. He was moved off, and basically he had a desk and title only, probably drawing an income, but on administrative leave of he's still here by title. We're not going to embarrass him, but they can't comment on ongoing IG investigations, but they did conclude enough of the investigations at that point to demote him and move him. And there's still ongoing aspects of that report that they can't comment on. So Greenwald interprets that as Lou lying, but because the Susan Go and the DOD have no comment on that, so he feels like he missed that whole point, that part of it was resolved on the investigation to the satisfaction of the IG complaints to warrant moving him and demoting him. That part took place. Greenwald refuses to accept that as a statement of fact. And that's why he comes out and accuses Lou of misappropriating the facts. And, it just goes on from there. And I think part of it is, he's learned from Greenstreet that controversy sells. He was wanting to be the last person when Lou stated he was leaving social media interviews. He was asking Lou to be the last one because he swore that no one could interview Lou like him. So he was putting down all the other podcasters out there. I'm just letting y'all know that Greenwald thinks that none of you can rise to the level of his superior intellect. So, take that for what it's worth. But he was mad because he didn't get the last interview. And then after that, all of a sudden, Lou's word was no longer credible. So, it's kind of easy to follow the trail of where the bitterness started. And since he can't get his, his super chats and all that stuff from Lou being on his show, then he's got to go over to Greenstreet and try and get on, Basement Office episodes, which he did. And he didn't tell Lou when he was requesting his last interview that, oh, by the way, I'm working on a hit piece with Greenstreet against you, and I'm going to be asking questions if I do get an interview to help defame you. So, there's just a lot of dishonesty that came with that, and immaturity.
Was he trying to do a gotcha moment with him? Is that what he's trying to do?
He was. He wasn't being forthcoming to declare to Lou that, when he made the request that, oh, by the way, I'm going to be doing a episode, of the new season with Greenstreet that's coming out to accuse you of all kinds of improprieties. As far as I'm aware, he didn't state that. That's not being full disclosure of your intentions. What you're why you're doing what you're doing. I think my shirt is ruined, man.
Looks like you've been working today. Square yourself away there, Marine.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get another shirt. This one's kind of had it.
Yeah. So I got some housekeeping before we go on to this video. I need to explain about when we're watching videos on this channel. I'm using some free software, and it's called StreamYard. Now, when it comes to using videos on here, the video can only be so big. Then it'll say, hey, file's too big. So what I've been doing is just cutting like a big video up in these segments, and that's in between. We try to make comments in between. If not, we just go on to the next clip. So if there was some, why in the world are they doing this? That's the reason why. That's the explanation. that I have. Also, I saw in the chat, someone wanted to know if they can explain a situation, but there were civilians. And my thing is that we take all stories. A little backstory on military witnesses to UAP. I started this channel and I was getting good stuff, but things had kind of evolved to where I now have Rob, and we have a different kind of focus, and it's not anything set in stone. And
guidelines.
So, right. So, if you have a story, we'd love to hear it. You don't have to be military. In fact, which case number is it? It's 4. It's UAPs and trains. That's a civilian thing. We had a train, CSX, based out of Jacksonville. They were in Kansas, Rob?
Kentucky.
I'm way off. Kentucky. And yeah, they ran into a UFO, UAP, and tore up a couple engines and coal cars. So we're still working on that case. So yeah, if you have a story, we'd like to hear it. All right, I think I'm done with my little notes here. Some chats here that I'd like to go over. How's Leroy doing tonight? Well, I got to tell you how Leroy is doing because it's kind of funny. My puppy wants attention. I know. He's getting so big. We got him a huge crate. Not crate. What is that thing? It's a crate, yeah. For him to be, relaxing in there while we're out having dinner. He's not really crate trained because he's spoiled rotten. So we'll be working on that. What's new in the UFO phenomena today? I got a good video, folks, and I'll tell you where I got it here in a moment. Another one, I wonder how much the budget for UFOs in China and Russia. Well, probably not as much as ours. Apparently, we have a bottomless pit of money that we just fork out for these things. And from what I understand, Russia is strapped for cash, and China, they're on a brink of a huge, what's the word I'm looking for?
Economical meltdown.
Depression. A depression. They're on the brink of a depression.
Yeah, Russia's being choked out.
Yeah. The people are ready for non-human confirmation. Yeah, I think. I guess it's individual what you think. I already think we've had it. Now we're having more confirmation as time goes on. Lou made a great point, and I'll just refer back to videos of disclosure that's already happened on the channel. Now, I can't click on this right now, but Raz, I'll take a look at that, and if it's up to snuff, we'll probably we'll have it here on the channel soon.
Yeah, I think Greenwald and Green Street both did. And I do still contend that Greenwald does good work with FOIA. I mean, good God, he's been doing it since he's 15. He should be good at it by now. But his analysis skills are a little lacking. And he thinks that if it's not officially through FOIA, then it doesn't exist. He's got a cognitive bias, it seems, to where he thinks that if it doesn't come out on an official FOIA statement, the Susan Go, it's not official. So he's not going to recognize it until it comes through his means of gathering documentation. And that's why I think he's more of a glorified digital librarian than anything else, and he's lacking in the critical analysis skills, especially when it comes to Lou, and also that he would be trusting that Susan Go wouldn't lie to him. They've already shown where they've issued different FOIA requests, the exact same ones, and they've given different documents with different parts redacted to different people. So yeah, they play games. I feel bad for Greenwald. I really do. I think he has good intentions. I think he just listened to the wrong people.
Yeah. Yep, that'll happen. So a little backstory. I think it was this morning. I'm getting so old now, I don't even know when it happened. But I got text message from Rob today, which is surprising. I never get text message from Rob.
Yeah, never.
But he said, I'll bring it up. He brought up a Twitter, and this is what it said. From open-minded approach, warming up for Ross Cohart, which if you're not subscribed to their YouTube channel or Twitter, I recommend doing so. Enjoyable guy to listen to. Sunday special and the analysis of the metallic sphere. This old video was allegedly filmed in Russia on a VHS camera, posted on Reddit by Vic the Wise. Watch the movement of the metallic sphere. Okay, so this is I'm about to show you the video. Now, when I watched this, what I was thinking of, if anybody's had children and they're watching TV and let's say there's a song on Bear in the Big Blue House or the Wiggles or one of those shows, and as the words are coming up, there's a bouncing ball, right? It goes from word to word, keep the kid on track of the song. This UFO UAP, which I'm 98% sure I've actually seen this somewhere in the ether, okay? I've seen this one, but it's a good one, right? I'd put it up there on a really good one, because I was trying to think, is this thing on a string? No, it's not a string, because it would not be bouncing around the way it was, right? So obviously, if there's anything in this, if they're going by our own physics, they'd be sick. There's a lot of bouncing around. Okay, that's my prediction. But I think we've pretty much come to the conclusion the physics inside these what I call space-time metrics.
Yeah,
are different.
They're at rest. They're not in the same.
On the inside.
They're not in a local environment. They're in their own closed environment, closed system that's separate from our system. So right. They're moving. Our system is enveloped around it. I can't explain the process. I could try, but there are a lot of theories.
I did. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there's a lot of theories, and we have Brian Kelly in the chat tonight. He's got some excellent observations and theories on how some of them move through the atmosphere and space, water, whatever. I really like his trains of thought. I've actually learned a lot from different conversations with him through this past year. We don't agree on everything, but that's okay. There are theories in the works, and I've got a lot to learn, obviously. So it's a work in progress.
Shall we go on to? Oh, before we start, I did run the video through a stabilizer, so it's a little bit more stable than the original footage. And I'll go ahead and I will play that now. If I can find it, folks. All right. Here it is. Sorry for the delay. 3, 2, 1. Well, there you go. That's it. So apparently they'll be doing some analysis of that video tomorrow, and I can't wait to hear it.
Is that what Ross Coulthart was going to go over? And were they saying that they had a sphere, maybe that they were researching or something, or somebody did?
That was that's what I just got from that tweet you forwarded me today, this morning. Yeah. So whatever they got going on, of course, I'll be listening to it. And the other thing that I got from Rob was the and I've already posted it today. It's called "Are UAPs Dangerous?" It's a 2-minute, 32-second long interview with
Tucker?
With Tucker Carlson and another individual. Don't know his name right off the top of my head, but it's interesting. It just adds to stuff that we already know. I don't want to spoil it, so make sure you check out that video. And that is it for me today, Rob. You got anything else going on? That video.
I was looking for the guy's name with Tucker. It's called The Wrap. Are you gonna play that one? Tom Rogan.
Tom Rogan. You know, let me see if I can bring that up. Stand by.
Yeah, that to me was just, it's another source that is, to me, a soft rollout of acclimating us to the idea that this isn't human, which, you know, those in the community, you know, we're all pretty much convinced. You know, we've had disclosure that, as far as knowing that it's not human, I mean, disclosure is a very abstract thing. You know, it means, you know, every person it's different, but fundamentally it means, you know, to my opinion anyway, is that it's the acknowledgement that this isn't human and it's being proven. From there, who knows? I don't think anybody truly knows yet what we're dealing with.
Well, I found it here, so if you give me a moment, I'll be able to get it off the cloud, and I can go ahead and I could probably chop it up into maybe 3 videos.
It's a mainstream news. Well, are you able to play it, or are you worried about copyright? Because
it's on mainstream.
Huh?
It's on the news, so as long as we talk about it, I guess.
Well,
so all right. Let me go ahead and I already got it coming off the cloud here. All right, stand by. What else is in the news, folks?
Yeah, there are a lot of people like Greer that were making money off of ufology, and others that never had to prove anything. And I think a lot of them know that they're, you know, that they have come out against Lou and said he's a liar, and that what they've been peddling for years or decades is true without any acknowledgement of fact, and that there's, you know, 120 different species, and, you know, and they can call them in for $10,000 a head. When they're found out to be charlatans and fakes, some of them, and some of them just flat wrong, you know, they know that their shelf life is short, and they're pushing full tilt right now to get as much attention drawn to their brands, because, you know, most of these people that are going out against Lou have payment structures, apparatus where they're, you know, this is their business, and Lou is bad for their business. You know, some have even stated that. You know, it's sad, but I think that's why a lot of them are going so hard right now, is because they know once the truth comes out, they're going to be having to look for something else to do. There's going to be a lot of people pissed off at them for when they find out that they were knowingly told by them of just saying that Lou's a liar, and when the truth comes out that he's not, they got some explaining to do.
All right, so I had to convert it, of course. So I'm converting it. It's almost done converting, so almost got the first clip up. I have to take little pauses in between them. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, bringing it up on StreamYard. This is the first 45 seconds of it, folks. It's almost done uploading. It just seems like every day there's some like good stuff. Every day good stuff is being released. Yeah.
It's perpetually rolling out, man. You just
there's going to be a new segment also. We'll go over that here in a second. But right now, here it comes. What's that?
When's the Cold Heart episode going to be on now?
Oh, huh? I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
Russia and China have literally lost aircraft chasing these things. So they're not Russian or Chinese.
So we have a declassified British government document, which is a research document into UFOs that points out a couple of times, actually, that about 4 Soviet pilots, perhaps Russian pilots since, were lost trying to engage these aircraft.
Were killed. Does it say how?
Doesn't say how. And I haven't been able to find out how. I did hear from someone, though, engaged was an appropriate term to use, so that they were trying to shoot these things down was the implication.
Okay, so if Russia, China, and the U.S. have all had this experience, then these are not.
These are not, and I think that's a pretty clear assessment on the part of the military.
These are not made by human beings.
No, well, yeah, I think that's a fair.
That's pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, that's major.
No.
You don't want to fire on them.
They're not made by us.
Yeah, and it doesn't work out well when you try and shoot them down, obviously.
Yep.
I'm not, other than the pilots in the 50s, I think it was, that one of them flew too high. One of them flew up after it over England, I think, in the 50s, and they said he flew too high and blacked out. And they also said use that excuse on the guy in 1957, I think, in Tennessee, that crashed, that went after one. So yeah, it's never worked out well. The guy in Iran that in '76, while they were still our allies, he locked on, he was terrified, and luckily it disabled his firing electronics, so he couldn't fire the missiles instead of disabling his aircraft. And he said afterwards that he deeply regretted making that move, that he shouldn't have done that. He felt, but he was scared. And I have to wonder if maybe, whatever was piloting that knew, because seeing that they seem to be able to read people's minds and or get into electronics or whatever, telepathically, we're all connected to that quantum consciousness, that if they knew his heart and that he wasn't a bad person, but he was just scared, not malicious, it was the intent. I think had a lot to do with it. If you're just wanting to, oh look, that looks cool, let's shoot it. It's like, hunters, they got this magnificent moose on the wall. I'm like, man, that was the most beautiful animal, and I just blew it away. Like, what's the point? Why? I don't kill. I hunt for food if I'm going to eat it, but I don't. I'm not knocking anybody that likes to hunt for sport, and we do need to have hunters for conservation. But going over to like Africa and killing, magnificent lions and giant, buffalo and all that stuff, you do need to. You don't want overpopulation. You got to keep a balance of predator and prey. But these people that you love to take photographs of things. I do too.
Mm-hmm.
When I see the deer, and I've got them in my garden almost daily now, this fall, and they're beautiful to watch. And I've been a deer hunter, but anymore, I just kind of lost my. I don't want to kill things if I don't have to. I'm just. Yeah. I've seen enough death. I'd rather just admire the beauty of nature and not destroy it, but I don't have to. So. Yeah, I think that they might, search that pilot's heart and determine that he was just scared. He wasn't a bad person, and gave him a pass. Russian pilots, like, probably U.S. tech. Let's shoot it down. They drew the short straw on that, just like the one at Lake Baikal when they tried to, I got a friend Russian. He's like, yeah, that's just so Russian. Where with the special forces divers, they saw the underwater aquatic beings. Oh, let's grab one. Nope. That didn't work out either. One of them died, and the rest were shot up to the surface and got the bends. Is the report anyway. Whether it's true or not, who knows? Given everything else we've learned, why wouldn't it be true? If not that particular incident, it's very likely like that's happened in some capacity. So,
yeah. Well, Rob, I've got the second one ready to go, so I'll go ahead and get rolling on that right now. So here we go.
That's fair assessment based on the capabilities, especially with some of the aircraft that the Navy have seen in recent years are manifesting, right? That you have things that are going hundreds of knots under the water, anti-gravity, instantaneous hypersonic acceleration, that you have basically capability performance without jet propulsion.
Right.
This stuff is not stuff that China or Russia have anywhere near the capability
or
of.
that physics can explain.
Exactly.
So why is the Pentagon lying about this? Why have they lied about it for so long?
I mean, that's the golden question. I think one reason is that a lot of people in the Pentagon fully don't understand what this is. I think they come to the conclusion it ain't from here.
Yeah.
But beyond that, they're somewhat flummoxed.
And you think they have come to that conclusion?
Yes, confidently.
They think this is extraterrestrial, just to be totally blunt about it.
Or extra-dimensional, something extra, let's put it that way.
It's not from this world.
Not from this world, and not from Elon Musk. Some people say maybe it's some secret billionaire somewhere. It's too advanced.
Ain't from around here, folks.
That's some deep stuff right there. Good Lord. It's just we've always known it, but just to hear it.
Yeah, Raz, don't get me wrong. I'm not calling out heroes and villains. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Maybe what I was saying about searching out the hearts of the pilots, and that Russian pilots would be, malicious. No, I was just speaking generally.
They're following orders.
They don't know. Yeah, I'm just looking at people that enjoy killing for the sport of it. Something that's not trying to kill them back. Like going out and shooting this magnificent elephant or beautiful old lion. Which is this magnificent mane, and just such a magnificent animal. And I got this clear shot that my guide set me up on. I had it on my tripod, and on the back of the Jeep in a cage where I was safe. Took the shot, and yeah, he was a real tough guy. That he had all the guides set him up, took him there, drove him there, didn't have to hunt for it, and just that's not sport. There's no sport in that. And Raz, don't get me wrong, I've dealt with a lot of evil people, and I know the difference, and I'm not judging anybody except on their nature of how they behave, their character. I don't know the character of the pilots, but I would assume that maybe they knew on the Iranian pilot that he was just scared and didn't have bad intent. That's all I can speak to. As far as the pilots in Russia that tried to shoot at him, or China, it's a personal decision if you want to fire on something like that, and I do understand following orders, and especially if they're made to think that it's U.S. tech and they didn't truly know that it's alien tech. They were misinformed, but how it played out, who knows? It's just we don't know.
All right, here's the final clip.
It's also quite extraordinary the degree to which, when these things happen, right? When we've seen a lot of, or some coverage, not as much as we would want to see on the Navy in particular, but the nuclear synergy, the nuclear identifier, that a guy, Robert Hastings, wrote a book about this 10, 15 years ago, which is at some point probably going to become a bestseller because it talks about these things actually deactivating, in a couple of cases, US and Soviet ICBMs in the Cold War. So whatever these things are, intelligent machines, they're not ghost blips on the radar, also their ability to move, both through space, air, and hundreds of knots underwater in terms of friction.
Nothing can go hundreds of knots. I mean, the whole thing is, so we're out of time. Unfortunately, we should have led the show with this. We should be leading the show with this tomorrow, and so should every other newscast.
Well, it's great you're covering it. It's great you're covering it. No one else does.
Covering it more. It's unbelievable.
It is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Tom Rogan.
He's the only one that I know that's running it on air.
Yeah.
I suppose he has the ability to, steer the train basically, and
yeah, he's got a little attitude on what he runs for his programming. Yeah, I think they have established that the sixth observable would be negative physical effects. So yeah, I would think, we go back to slide 9. Whether we want to call it sixth or seventh observable, the precog, we don't know. And changing shape, we could run through 6 different observables on slide 9 easily, which is to wait and see. I think there's a lot of people like Richard Doty. I think he has a good heart. I think he does truly want to make amends for some of the things I think he feels bad about that he did back in the day. But I don't understand why he's talking about things like all these different, knowing 5 different alien species that are on the planet, that and he knows the names of them, what they look like, and all this stuff. When there's, and I do understand there are many different programs within the government apparatus, the CIA, the DIA, each branch of the military, the DOE, you name it. They've all probably had their clandestine UFO programs of research and didn't know of each other. So maybe there are programs out there that have made those kinds of progress. But as good as Lou and his team were in ferreting things out, as far as I know, they've not come to any conclusion on what these are, and damn sure don't have races named out and bodies and things that they've observed. Not saying that they aren't out there in some of these programs, in the alleged crash retrieval programs and things, but I don't. I think that there's rumors and whispers of them, but I don't think they've seen them yet. Congress is drilling down on it, but I don't understand the dichotomy here with Richard Doty. And I really like the guy. I consider him a friend. I tremendously respect him. So I don't. How is it that if it's top secret, he could be talking about all these different races of aliens and naming them from an Air Force program, when there's no other programs that are able to substantiate that claim? So how is he able to say it if it was supposed to be top secret, unless somebody else said it first and it's in the public purview, so he's able to speak to it? I don't know. It's confusing because I believe he's got a good heart and good intentions. So, I'm sure the truth will come out. There's a lot of things, like I'm making assumptions like Greenwald and Green Street do because they think they've been misled. There are certain components of FOIA and government documents and government programs that we can't, they can't tell you what they consist of on the classified portion, and they can't even tell you that sometimes the classified portions to it exist because of the restrictions that they have on them. So it does give the appearance of them being manipulated or lied to, but it's not. You gotta hate the game, not the players. They've got articles out, like Christopher Mellon and them saying that the overclassification is hurting, the civilian population and even our government as a whole, it's hurting because of the overclassification. They can't share information that they should. That's what we had after 9/11. Homeland Security was bringing all these different umbrellas together so they could have the flow of information. And what happened to that vision? They got disjointed again. So they need to do the same thing with investigating the phenomena and share what they know. And and I think that some of these legacy programs they've been at it for so long, and they've made so many alliances with the aerospace industries that they're associated with. There's trillions of dollars at stake here, and a lot of money, a lot of power, and they don't want to let it go easily. And it's also embarrassing for the Air Force to say, yeah, we know they're out there, but there's not a damn thing we can do about it, and we don't know what they are. So there's that. But yeah, keep sending the Air Force money.
Yeah. Back on Richard Doty, I'm going to try to be devil's advocate here and say that I know when you go on the air with whatever show, they can actually chop it up and make it sound totally different than what you said. And I would just suggest maybe he says, it's just my opinion, and they just cut that out. So everything he's saying is like a fact. fact.
Yeah.
You know, just you know, throw him a bone here. I know sometimes he does watch this channel, and I do appreciate it.
I tremendously respect him. I just,
yeah,
you know, if he's being coerced into, you know, maybe he's being leveraged into having to say these things and still, you know, and I don't know. I really, my heart goes out to the guy. I'd really like, you know, if he's in a bind somehow, you know, I hope he finds the right people that would help him, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like I've said, there are a lot of programs that with the overclassification aren't allowed to share what they know. And what he's saying may be 100% true. I can't judge him on that because I'm taking up for Lou with Greenwald and them, but why wouldn't I do the same for Doty? That's being two-faced right there on myself. So I got to apply the same courtesy to him, that I trust that he's conducting himself with integrity. That's the bottom line. You know, I don't understand some of what he's doing, but I don't have the vantage point and the clearance to understand that. So I'm just going to trust him that he's doing the right thing at the end of the day. And that's, you know, what I want to say about that.
All right. So, folks, don't forget that October 1st and 2nd, you got UFO Expo will be they're having a convention. I guess it'll be in Palm Coast, Florida, which is just south of Jacksonville, Florida. I already got my ticket. I already got my room. Please buy your ticket, get your room, and you'll see everybody there, plus me. And I will be doing live streams as soon as I get there to show everybody what's going on. It'll be pretty neat to be on assignment and sending you guys live videos and the people I meet. Let's see what else is going on. That is it, dude. We've got some homework I need to do between now and tomorrow. There's things popping up all the time, and I'll just try to write them down instead of popping them up like I did today of the video about are UAPs dangerous. And if I can hold off on it, I will, and make the show a little longer than just only 48 minutes. I see we have 10 subscribers, 10 viewers, and according to the analytic, whatever, only there's 25% of you have not hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit the like and hit the notifications because you just never know. Yeah.
If we can get to when I'm being ambitious here, when we get to 1,000. Any monies that we have donated to us, we are going to donate 100% of to charity. So we will never profit off of disclosure or anything else to do with this channel because we don't feel right about profiting off of something that at this level we think should be free. And we don't want to be accused of having any insider knowledge and taking money for it. So because of who we know.
None of that. Even though Lou Elizondo is part of the charity, he's 1/3 of it. This goes all toward all three charities that Rob and I and Lou have come up with, and really looking forward to his all-star lineup. Lou says he has an all-star lineup for this charity, and I cannot wait to hear what's going on.
I've got to make a phone.
Who that going to be?
I got to make a phone call. I have to respond to an email tonight or tomorrow to the guy that makes a living running a charity organization, Boots to Books. A good friend of mine, a mutual friend of ours, recommended me to him, and he's on board to help us set up the framework and advise on whatever we need to get it up and rolling. So that's gonna be helpful. So when I get that call arranged, I'll let you know, and we'll get it wrapped up with him.
Sounds good. All done, Rob?
Yep.
All right, folks. Good night.
I'll take care, all right? Nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for you. You think they have any clue what's about to happen to them?
Oh, not a chance in hell. Good night.